Neighbors remember Florida State Law Professor Dan Markel 10 years after he was murdered in his Betton Hills home.
He really was kind of a gatherer of people.
I'm Kendall Brandt in the Midtown neighborhood. It's a crime that shook our Tallahassee neighborhoods and the lives of Markel's friends and family back in 2014. 1 decade later, I'm sitting down with a close friend who wants to make sure Markel's memory is not forgotten. Jeremy Cohen says he misses his friend Dan Markel. It's been 10 years since Dan Markel was murdered. Does it feel like it's been 10 years?
I mean, I can remember him like it was yesterday, but now it does seem like it's been a long time since that happened.
He is talking about July 18th, 2014, when 2 hitmen shot the FSU Law Professor in the garage of his home on Trescott Drive.
Definitely didn't believe it at first and had a lot of questions. I called him and left a voicemail. Ended up seeing him in the hospital that night and sadly, saw him right before he passed.
Cohen and his wife Tracy met Dan through mutual friends and lived down the street.
Our friendship grew as we kind of grew as parents.
Cohen says Dan knew a lot of people throughout Tallahassee.
He really was kind of a gatherer of people. So he liked having Shabbat dinners with people at his house. He often brought people in from all corners of the community.
That's how colleague and friend Jason Solomon also remembers Dan.
Dan was someone who really was big about connecting people, both professionally and personally. And so he really brought together people who were starting their careers as law professors.
Solomon is a part of the group Justice for Dan, pushing for accountability for his death and helping his family get access to their 2 grandchildren. He says they are doing something to honor him 10 years later.
We launched a Dan Markel Memorial Prize in Criminal Law Theory to honor the future students and scholars who are thinking hard about the purposes of the criminal justice system.
A world of criminal justice that is now working for Markel after his murder. 4 people have been convicted for their role in his death, including his ex-brother-in-law, Charlie Adelson. Local criminal defense attorney Tim Jansen says we may not be where we are without the help of a next-door neighbor.
That neighbor identified a car like a Prius. That really helped the FBI locate vehicles in the neighborhood through cameras that fit that description.
Donna Adelson, Markel's ex-mother-in-law, is in jail right now, awaiting trial. Prosecutors say she conspired with her son Charlie to kill Markel. Cohen says he is glad to see the state attorney's office working to get justice for Markel.
We went for a long time without having any answers and knowing anything about who was behind it. So here we are 10 years later and 5 people are behind bars. And so, obviously, sometimes justice moves slowly, but I'm thankful that it's moved to where we are today.
As friends and family like Cohen still mourn that loss, the legal process is still playing out. Donna Adelson, Markel's ex-mother-in-law, who is charged with his murder, is set to appear in court on Monday. In the Midtown neighborhood, Kendall Brandt, ABC 27.